Ladies and gentlemen, Sad Money is back. Stephan is here. It's one half of Sad Money, and I'm here with my good friend, Mike Mancusi. Mike, how are you doing today?
Doing good. It's good to be with you again. Haven't seen you in a while.
It's good. We are very old friends from comedy, and the way that the world has worked is after COVID, it feels like everything's kind of fractured and blown apart, right?
It's like even if people I'm close with, I haven't seen in like 6 years. You know what I mean?
Yes. How does that make you feel? How do you feel about that in today's day and age?
There's certain good things about it, and there's certain damaging things about it. It's like it's kind of nice that like we can stay in touch. Like, I always think about my high school friends. It's like if we didn't have phones, I would literally never be able to speak to them, and they're still some of my closest friends.
Yeah.
But also, we've lost a lot of the human element. It's like we don't really get together like this, and that's really sad. We spend most of our time just interacting with strangers that all hate each other on the internet. You know, it's like we don't really get that. We don't really get this like this. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite hater on the internet? Do you have a favorite hater?
Favorite?
Because I do.
Oh yeah, there was this guy. I posted New York City content for a while, and there was this guy. Every single post, he would just be like, "You're not a real New Yorker." Every single post. As soon as I posted, "You're not a real New Yorker."
Yeah.
And he's right. I mean, I'm a Long Islander. Like, I don't know. I feel like at a certain point, like what's the criteria? Like, you know, I've lived here for 8 years. I've had mice crawl on my face while I'm asleep. I've been hit by a homeless guy before. It's like,
that's crazy.
You know, how much do I need to go through before I get that? I'm a cushioned Long Islander. I guess I can't really.
No, I think you get the badge for the mice on the face.
The mice on the face is a big one. I think that's a big one.
How did that even happen?
I lived in a apartment that was above a coffee shop for a long time.
Okay.
And anytime you're living in an apartment that's like directly above food, it's just the mice are there. Whether you see them or not, they're there.
Yeah.
And because it was the first apartment, it's not like I was like layers up. It's like literally directly above the coffee shop.
Yeah.
So there was like a major mouse problem that I would kind of just turn a blind eye to. You know how like you turn on a light and you see them scamper off and you're just like that didn't just happen.
Yeah.
So I would kind of just turn a blind eye to it, but it got really out of hand. And then one time I woke up, I knew they were like, I could hear them like scampering around my room when I was asleep, but I was just like, no, it's ghosts. It's fine.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then I woke up and it was like, it was like on my neck, and it was not a good situation.
Oh my God. I hope you're.
But that's life in the big city, baby.
Wow. Yeah, life in the big city. That's true. I would say to anyone who says you're not a real New Yorker, it's like the only real New Yorkers are the indigenous people buried under this park.
Yeah, exactly. If you haven't been died and buried underneath like a skyscraper, you're not a real New Yorker.
Yeah, it's like who cares? We're too attached to titles, I think. So it is really good to see you. It is crazy how like we both do the same thing, and I feel like we connect more online than in person today. But I really love your content that you put up. I see it on TikTok a lot, also on Instagram, like about the workplace. Like I know you really strike a chord there. I'm a millennial in the workplace. I quit my job, thank God. But how do you feel like the workplace has changed in the past, 5 to 10 years? Like, what are the biggest shifts you have seen?
From what I've seen from working in tech, I do actually think, at least when I first started working in tech, which was like 2016 about, I really do think they started with wanting to like transform the workplace and like make it a lot more like focusing on people's well-being and their, the paid time off and being a lot more lax around the office and getting beer kegs and all that cool stuff. So like, I think it really started as that, but over time, capitalism, as it does, has slowly like suffocated that kind of like philanthropy and mindset, and they've kind of just become the same thing. I do like I think like old corporate structures are a lot more like clock in, clock out, hour out. Like, what are you doing? 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., 10 a.m. to 11. Like, what with what I've seen in tech, at least, is like it is a lot more like you're your own schedule. As long as you're getting your stuff done, like nobody really cares what you're doing. But I do think there has still been that level of like micromanagement that there, traditionally has been. And just slowly over time, it's been more, just slowly going more into like back into the old mindset of like, people aren't people. It's just like, we need to make money and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's not really an answer to your question, but
I mean, it was like an idealized situation people wanted.
Exactly.
And it slipped away from that.
What happens with idealism is like capitalism comes in and just slowly chokes it out. Because that's what happens with these companies. They all start off very like, oh, we're free flowing and whatever, but then as they try to get bigger, as they try to get more funding, now they have investors that are looking at them and going like, hey, you got to do these, you can't do these things anymore. You got to do these things.
Yeah.
And so that's how the business slowly over time gets the soul crushed out of it and all the people that work in it. But I will say I do like working in tech. Like, it still is a lot more of that mindset of like, it's kind of up to you as to how well you want to do. But I do think there's also a lot more focus on like behaving in the workplace. That's probably one of the biggest things I've noticed is like, there's really not a lot of tolerance for, all kinds of prejudice, bigotry. Like, there's a lot more cracking down on that kind of stuff, which is good. So I feel like workplaces are generally more safer in terms of how people are treated by their colleagues.
Yeah.
But in terms of how like businesses treat their employees, it's like, it's kind of a lot of the same. I don't know.
So it's like the people treat each other pretty well, but the businesses, there's no relenting there.
Yeah, and because they're like, I've just noticed with tech companies, it's like there might be some benefits of where you work, but you're very expendable. Like, there's really, I feel like over time, like, the human capital has truly been like withered away. It's like truly just like numbers. Like, if you're not doing, like, if you're not hitting the numbers we need you to hit, if you're not like a really good employee that everybody likes, like, you can go at the drop of a hat. And even a lot of time, those people, even if you are a top performer, just based on the performance of the business as a whole, like, you could lose. I've seen people that are great at their jobs that put up numbers that wind up in layoffs all the time. It's like, it's more of just like, it's almost like becoming a gig economy where it's like, every job that you get, like, you just got to use this as some kind of resume booster because you're probably going to be out of it within the next like 18, 24 months.
Yeah. How does that make you feel then? Because I felt the same way when I was in the corporate world. How does it make you feel about like investing in your job? And like, is it actually a bad idea to invest in your job because of these things? I think there's an argument to be made there, but how do you feel about that?
No, I think my mindset is you always need to be looking out for number one. So when you go into a company, it needs to be about how am I using this experience to move myself forward? And that it is a selfish thought, but the way that you're going to do that is also by benefiting the business, because a lot of times the network that you create for yourself is what's going to really ultimately move you forward. And that means that you went into this business and you really drove impact towards this business, so that when you're interviewing for a job and your old colleague is at this company, they could say, like, I worked with him at the last company and he was the top performer and he did all these things. So like, that's why I always tell people, like, no matter what job you do, just do well at it, so that's really how you propel yourself forward. It's just resume boosting.
Yeah.
And you can't really think about the performance of the company, because a lot of those things, it's completely out of your control. And it's great to think like you're at a company that's going to do well and will grow, but unfortunately 90% of the time it's not. Like, most of these companies don't. So you got to just use it to move yourself forward.
Yeah, it's hard to pick. I mean, there's a lot of luck in it. Like, when you're interviewing, like, I remember I would look at companies I interviewed at or I didn't take it, and then they were doing so well, and I'm like, like, options or equity would have been worth a lot of money. I had a question too about, talking about like investment, AI, we're in like year 2 or year 3 of seeing it in the workplace. How badly do you think AI is going to affect the workplace, like white collar jobs? Not even just next year, but 5 years, 10 years from now. Like, are we really ready for what's coming there?
I'm really not as doomsday on AI as other people are. I mean, sure, we'll probably eventually be in Terminator 2, but who knows? Like, I don't know what time frame that is, but I'm actually a little bit more optimistic about it, just because, like, I work in tech. Everybody's desperately just trying to use AI, but it's really not as effective as they think it is. Like, everybody thought by now, like, sales reps would be AI and stuff like that, and it's like, it's not there. It's really not there yet. And it might be because I know there's a compounding effect, and AI is going to start creating AI, and that, so it might get there, but it's really not that close. I think AI, at least in the near term, is really just going to augment what we can do. Like, that's what ChatGPT is. Like, that's how the smartest people are using it. Is like, you just type in what you need to know. Yeah. Or like what you need to do better. You just say, hey, can you just do this better for me? And it's like, yeah, no problem. Yeah. And it spits it out. So like, I really think at least in the near term, it's going to be more of an augmentation. And yeah, I think, over time, I think people will probably start to like try to do more with less, but I don't really think we're quite there yet,
Yeah. The cleverest thing I've seen with AI is like someone built a Riz bot for younger kids, and it was like, so you could like try rizzing up women or guys like through this like app.
Exactly. That's how we should use it, to make up for our shortcomings. And for most people, that's how to speak to the opposite sex.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah. I hope it helps people. Apparently, it's like really tough for people these days.
Imagine
younger.
Getting rizzed up by a robot. It's just like, beep boop. You got nice boobs. I don't know what the robot says. See, this is why I need the robot. I can't really talk to.
If I was 20, I would definitely use it. I would for sure use it. Yeah.
Teach me how to be good with women, please.
Yeah. Interesting. And we're both millennials. How do you find like working with Gen Z in like the workplace?
Yeah, Gen Zs, the old Gen Zs.
What are the pros and cons? We're talking about pros. Yeah.
I think with Gen Zs, I know I've talked about this on my thing, but like, I think they just have seen the scam and they're like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
I just think that. I'll start with the bet. I think the Gen Zs, the pendulum has swung a little too far. Okay. Whenever there's these societal shifts that happen, it always winds up the pendulum swings a little bit too far. So like, I think a lot of their like anti-work stuff, it's gone too far. It's like, listen, life is work. Yeah. Like life is work. That's what life is. Yeah. Like if you want to be successful, you want to be good at anything, like it's work. That's what it is. But I just think that they've seen it be a scam and they're like, we're not participating in this.
Yeah.
And they've also just have such a different, like, atmosphere to create a career in. It's like they see these people online that just create businesses for themselves by making stupid videos and doing whatever. And then they see other people online that just complain about their 9-to-5s all day and how they're, feel like indentured servants. And they're just kind of like, why would I do the worst thing? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I think they see that companies have been set up so that it really keeps you kind of suffocated over the course of your life.
Yeah.
I think it also goes deeper. Like a lot of them have lost religion. Like a lot of them, I don't really think they believe in like an afterlife. So they're kind of just like, listen, this time we get here, I'm enjoying it. I'm not going to be somebody's servant. I'm not going to be beholden. I'd rather be like poor and happy than feeling like I'm sacrificing my entire existence to this entity that doesn't give a crap about me, So like, I think I think their work ethic or their perceived lack thereof just comes down to the fact that they're not being incentivized properly to really be able to build. They don't feel like they can really build a lucrative, successful future for themselves. Yeah. So they're like, well then screw it. I'm not going to just be like a servant my whole life. And they're like, I'll just try to become one of these influencers that just, whatever. They just spend their whole life traveling to Costa Rica or whatever they do.
Yeah.
So I just think they have a totally different world than the boomers who are still running companies,
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, they didn't even like have a shot basically when they got in the workplace, and we kind of had it for a little bit when we started.
We were at least sold the illusion of a shot.
I felt that.
We were sold the illusion of a shot.
Yeah, I felt that way too. Yeah.
Because even if you think about 401ks, I think I've written jokes about this before, but it's like, all right, so I have to sacrifice like several $100s a month that I need right now to put into a 401k that might be more money when I'm old.
Right.
But it's going to be like what? Like maybe several $100,000 if I'm lucky, maybe more than that if you're lucky.
Yeah. And
I'm going to need that amount like every single day to live. You know what I mean? Like it's like every breath costs like $10,000.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like, why do we need to plan our future around a totally uncertain thing. Like, let's just let's just live in the now, you know?
Yeah. And we don't know the taxes. You have to pay taxes on it too
Taxes.
in the future.
Yeah, of course. Because why would we not pay taxes?
Yeah.
Everything needs taxes.
Yeah.
You can't just get money, okay?
Yeah.
The government, you can't just have money. The government needs to also have it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the future, also, if you don't want to talk about this, you don't have to, but like speaking of the future then, because we're on it, like what are your like financial goals for the future? Like, do you want a family? Like, how do you think about money?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I've always wanted a family, but I've also always wanted money. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like choose one of those two now. Do you want intrinsic value or the paper value? Like, so I don't know. Like, my biggest thing at this point in my life is like, I'm trying to earn and just get my earning potential as high as it can so that I can hopefully get to that place where it's like I can comfortably have a family, but but the family thing is not just money, it's also like lifestyle. I've always thought that like by 30 I was going to be ready for like a kid, and then 30 came around, I was like not close. Yeah. So it's like there's definitely the balance of the money and the lifestyle there. At this point, I'm really just trying to maximize my earnings as much as I can so that hopefully I can get to that point where like I can comfortably afford kids, and if I do get there, then I'll do it, and if not, then I'll just die alone, and no one will remember me. You know, that's.
I'll remember you, Mike. I'll remember you. I'll be here in the park still. I mean, you have a plan though. That's good. Like I don't usually hear people talking about like maximizing earnings in that way. So I do like that. It's tough, man. Like, yeah, I feel like, especially in the workplace or sometimes with like lifestyle goals or having a family, like these different milestones that we have in life, it's not like a gradual thing. It's like stepwise. Like you need X amount of money to start a family, but it's so much higher than being a single guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think my problem is that goalpost has moved so much in my life, dude. Yeah. It's like when I got out of college, everyone was just like, yeah, just make 6 figures and you'll do meh. And now it's like, I make 6 figures and it's like I'm poor. I can't do anything. Yeah, you're poor. Yeah. You're poor. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the problem. Is it's like that goalposts have shifted so dramatically. And back to your question about Gen Z, I think that's a major thing too. Like, they entered the workforce around 2019 something. 2019, 2020. Yeah. Since then, the cost of living it's not. I don't even know what the multiplier is. It's probably like 5x what it was. Yeah. And they're just like, all right, you told me I need to make 6 figures. Now I need to make like $500,000 a year to be comfortable. It's like, what is this? You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, one thing I really respect is like you've been able to juggle not only. I mean, tech sales is a lot of work. I know. I was a recruiter in tech, so I know how much you guys work. So you not only have been working that job, which is a lot more than a 9 to 5 in crunch time. You've been building your content career really well, and you've been doing stand-up, which takes so much time, as like we know. So like, how do you manage to juggle all of that?
It's easy. I just don't have a life, and my girlfriend hates me. No, I mean, yeah, it's just like I just see my life as work. It's like, and I know that that's unhealthy. I know it is. So everybody that listens to that's gonna be like, "Well, you're sick." It's like, yeah, I know, but like, this is the phase of life I'm in. It's like I'm in my 30s. I'm in like prime time where I'm really trying to create something for myself. So like, I really just see my life as work, and that means that from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, it means like I'm working on something. That, a lot of times that's my day job and my work because I want to make money, and then I sign off, and then I'm working on content, I'm working on stand-up, and then I go to bed and I rinse and repeat, and it could be tough to balance all that with a relationship, but my girlfriend's been cool with it, and I mean she probably hates most of the things I post, but that's the trade-off.
Hey, mine too. So I totally understand.
Well, we actually do have a very strict a strict rule in my household. No watching Mike's content. She's not allowed to watch my content.
Oh, okay.
She does eventually kind of it sprinkles in on her feed every now and then, but she's not allowed to watch my content.
Okay, I got it. I understand. Well, how do you feel like, because we were talking about this the other day actually, what we both started stand-up before short form content, before TikTok was even a thing. How do you feel like not only comedy but like art has changed because of this content?
Yeah. I think there's always pros and cons to
Yeah.
situations. That's a stupid statement, but it's let's just start with that.
Yeah.
There's pros and cons. Like when we first started stand up, the model that we were sold was like, just work the mics and then you get on shows and then you get into the clubs and then you work the road and then you this. And now it's like that model is literally completely dead. And across other arts, it's like they had their own models that have all completely wiped out.
Yeah.
The model now is like you need to create it for yourself. You need to bring people to you, and there's never been more ability to do that than now. Like my belief is like, if you can't, this is gonna sound mean, but like if you can't find a way to like make yourself marketable today, you might just not be marketable. Like, or like that sounds mean, but like it just means you haven't found what it is. Like you have to find what that thing is about you that's marketable.
Yeah.
Because you have to bring people to you. And the benefit of what we have now is that there's never been more of a way to do that. Like if I didn't have the ability to just like sit on my phone and make jokes or thoughts and get them out to people, like I don't know where my head would be at with comedy, So like to me, an artist of any kind or any same thing with like a business entrepreneur, it's like you need to bring people to you. And the benefit of the model we have right now is that it's totally possible. Like you have the technology, you have the opportunity, you have everything at your disposal that you need to figure it out. So figure it out. But the problem is a lot of times it's not the people that are the most talented that rise to the top. It's the people that can figure that out, right?
Yeah.
And so that's always been the case in art, where it's like the people that rise to the top are not necessarily the best people, but this is the world now. It's like the people that have figured out how to make themselves marketable, how to really build that business and that brand around themselves, are the ones that get to the top across any single trade. That's not, stand-up's not really any different for that.
Yeah. So
Do you agree?
It's a different skill. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think, I mean, this is going to sound like, I think, naive for sure, but I feel like great marketers or like great artists, they should be collaborating more and working together in person because they can help each other out.
Yes.
One with the art, one with how to market themselves. But I realize that it doesn't really happen that much in practice. I don't see it.
And especially now because like, we're all just in our little boxes, like, in our little apartments, in our phones, just like thinking like, dude, a lot of the jokes I've thought of are because like me and a friend are talking about stuff.
Yeah.
Or, bouncing whatever, sketch ideas off each other. And like, there's only so much, like, sometimes by locking myself in the mental lab and trying to think of stuff, like it'll work. But I feel like a lot of times my best jokes are because like I'm out with people, I'm out in the world, I'm like experiencing stuff, like talking to other funny people, and like so we definitely have lost that collaboration element. But it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, man.
Yeah. I feel like that's been the biggest loss too, is the community. Some people might say it's a good community or a bad community with stand-up or comedy, but I made a lot of my best friends through it.
100%.
And there is a huge amount of creativity from being with someone else. And we're in New York. It's like some of the funniest people on the planet, And I definitely miss that. Maybe it's also nostalgia because that's when we were starting. But I feel like the community in general has kind of withered away a bit.
Yeah, well, it's just a lot less insulated. Like when we were doing comedy, we might have talked about this, but like it used to just be like this group of people that was in the trenches together. And it's like, there was like drama and people didn't really get along, there's like high school, middle school level drama where like, but we were all kind of in it together, like we were all doing open mics and hated our lives, and it was like kind of this camaraderie. But now it's like everybody does stand up. Like somebody who's never done stand up in their life is now all of a sudden a stand up.
Yeah.
And so you show up at these places and it's like, it's just not as like these are all comics working towards a common goal. It's just like everybody, just everybody's a comedian now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm an old man screaming at the wall about it, but like, I don't. It's not great. It's like we lost the sense of community. Like that,
And I will say, it's like you have changed with the times.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you haven't adapted. It's just like you can look and see, man, these are some of the really good things that just aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
That's what sucks. That's what hurts for me too. But that's life.
Yeah,
Everything's
that's
changing. Yeah.
That's life.
Yeah. Let's see what I have some other questions. Give me 1 second. I had some other good ones I had written down. It was in the similar vein with social media, and less so about like art, but there is like a social currency and a social capital that everyone is trying to acquire now. Even like the richest people on earth, like Jeff Bezos, he did his Blue Origin thing with his, I don't know, not his wife, whatever like Lauren Sanchez is. Elon Musk, like he's doing it at Twitter. Why do you think like billionaires, ultra high net worth people are really pushing to acquire social capital when they already have all the money in the world?
Because I think it's the last thing left for them to do, or not. Maybe not the last thing for now. Because once they get this, then they'll go to Mars or whatever and try to be cool on that planet too. Like, but what's been interesting to see is that it's the one thing money can't buy. Like, it can't make you cool. It can't. Like, you see these guys with Zuckerberg and Musk. Yeah, you're right. It's like they have all the money in the world, so they're done with that. Now they're like, how do I be cool? And it's like, you can't, you loser.
Sorry.
Like
I know Theo is ripping for you, but sorry.
Yeah, literally. You can go on as many cool comedian podcasts as you want. They're not gonna, their coolness is not gonna rub off on you, you know?
Yeah.
But I think like, I guess it's also the fame aspect, because outside of guys like that and people like that, you just see people that like, they're rich, they're born rich. That used to be enough for people, where they're like, yeah, I won the lottery. Yeah. Now it's like, oh, I need to be famous now too. And like, yeah, I'm rich and I have my phone and I have all the resources I need. So now I'm going to become famous. Yeah. And it's like, I feel like with those guys, it's like, it's similar, but they just want to be liked. They want to be cool so bad, you know? And then, but it has been interesting to see that, where it's like rich people you see now are like, I want to be famous too. It's like, why? Like, I guess because we were all raised just thinking fame is like I don't know. I say this as a content creator who wants to die every day because I don't have enough followers. So like, I'm a hypocrite, but.
No, I understand though. It's like, there's this still deep human desire to be liked, but I feel like ironically a lot of times the more things you're doing in the public, the more people don't like you.
Yes. Right? And I feel like that's been the case with comedians. Like, to me, part of why I fell in love with stand-up was because it was so cool. It's like you just see this person go up there for an hour and then you never hear from them again. Yeah. Like you'll see them maybe do like an occasional press tour, late night show or something, but like that the only time you see them or hear from them is they have their jokes that they've been working on and that they're ready. Dude. And now it's like this oversaturation of comedians, every thought that comes into their head. Yeah. And I don't think that's good. I really don't think that's good. Yeah. Because, and that's part of why a lot of my content winds up being not funny. It's because I'm not funny all the time. Like, yeah, I have funny thoughts. I can write jokes. I'm a funny guy. I'm a good comedian, but there's a lot of other stuff that goes on up there that's not funny. Yeah. And like,
you don't have to have that pressure.
Yeah, you don't want to have that pressure of just always everything out of your mouth is a bit. Like, it's just. Yeah. Because I've noticed that with people I like, it's like the more you listen to them, the more you realize that like nobody's that funny. Where it's just like like just everything. I mean, maybe like Tim Dillon. He's the closest one I've seen. Where it's just like the guy can go for 2 hours and it's just like
he's a special man. Also Long Island man. Shout out Long Island.
Shout out LI, baby.
Yeah, and I also go like I think it's the medium. Like watching something on your screen, like watching stand up, is never going to be as funny as seeing it in real life. Just as we know, maybe we're biased because we do it, but you're never going to feel that connection.
I totally agree. Yeah. It's one of the things, like, we'll never, as long as we're humans and we don't have whatever chips in our brain and stuff, like, there's always going to be a human element to certain things. And, you know, stand-up is one of those things. Like, there's never going to be anything that's going to compare to being at a live stand-up show, being in the room with that energy of people, like, AI is never going to replicate that. Never.
Actually, I've never asked this question before, but your answer inspired this. Especially because sometimes comedy isn't seen as art, but I really think it is. what like moment really made you fall in love with stand-up? Is there like a moment that stands out?
Yeah, probably. When I was a kid, I went. Yeah, I don't know. I've been kind of depressed my whole life, like pretty much right out of the womb. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But no, I was when I was a kid, I was like pretty depressed, and I just remember the laughter of the comedy specials that I fell in love with, which was like Comedy Central Presents, like Nick Swartzen, Louis C.K., Kevin James had a great like an incredible special, like that whole run in the early 2000s. And I just remember like laughter, it just took. It's like when you're laughing, it's like nothing else matters. It's like nothing else matters.
Yeah.
You know?
Time stops.
Yeah, literally. Like it's like one of the most. I know it's like corny and stuff, but it's like it's literally one of the most powerful things. Like when you're genuinely just laughing.
Yeah.
And so, to be like, and not just that, but also the relatability. So like, Kevin James has this great joke about, like when you're in an elevator and you press the button.
Yeah.
And you either press it on the wrong floor or you press it too soon, and like the elevator just doesn't, like the door doesn't open for a while, and so there's like that awkward like 4 seconds where like, and just like finding that relatability where it's like I can tell a joke and somebody that never realized the humor in that thing that they've experienced a million times.
Yeah.
And then now that when that happens to them again, they're going to be thinking about my joke.
You're gonna feel
Yeah, exactly.
Man, yeah.
So those are really two of the main things. Like, just being able to impact people on the laughter level, but also that like, oh, that joke, like.
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin James, king of Queens. Long Island's basically Queens. So next time you're on the road, next show, you got to think of Mike.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is Long Island births the greatest comedians of all time. Kevin James, Tim Dillon, and me, of course.
Top three.
Yeah.
Top three.
And there's no order in those three,
No.
You can place whatever order you want to on that.
Yeah. I feel the same way, man. It's like, it's kind of like vomiting. Like laughing is like vomiting. You can only focus on that when you're doing the thing.
Yeah, there's no.
You know what I mean?
That's funny, the parallel that you made.
I don't know. I guess it used to be like being on the toilet, but we have phones now.
Yeah, you're not vomiting and also thinking about existential crisis at the same time.
You're just
same thing with laughter. Yeah,
getting it out. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I feel like I had one or two other things written down. We talked about it a little bit with community. I feel like there's a term I've definitely been online too much, but like third spaces is used a lot. Do you feel like there's been like a death of third spaces? Is there anything we can do to kind of counteract that? What are your thoughts around all of that too?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I do kind of feel that way, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because it's really just like work, home. People maybe go to the gym. I guess that's like a good third place to go. But
yeah,
I feel like most people always have like some kind of third place to go.
Yeah.
In terms of getting that back, I don't know. We might be done, bro. We might be done. I mean, it just takes.
Everything's so expensive.
Yeah, everything's expensive. People don't have the disposable income to like put into third places. And also, like, to me, it's just people. I just think everybody's. And I'm not saying this is good. It's deeply. It's horrifying. But everybody's just gotten comfortable. It's like there's a certain comfort in me just sitting on my couch and just opening up my little TikTok and scrolling, and it's all just the worst just doom content.
Yeah.
Just implanting stress into my brain. But like there's a certain comfort in it.
Yeah.
And that's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of, it seems like that's what the oligarchs want. But in terms of like third places, I mean, the way we fix it is like there needs to be a renaissance at some point of people realizing that all of this technological interaction, it's not good. Like, it's not healthy for us. Like, again, the optimistic view in my mind of the future is that people will eventually realize that, much like soda, much like cigarettes, it's like, oh, we thought this thing was good, but it's not. That's not a good analogy, because I do think technology is good. We just need to learn how to use it in a healthy way instead of allowing it to consume our entire existence. Because I feel like we all just live in this technology, like everything we just thinking about the phones, like we're not here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I like to think as a species we're eventually going to hit that renaissance of like we all got to get back out there. But what's probably more likely is they're going to put chips in our brains and we're going to become cyborgs.
So that made me think of this. Do you feel like the internet, social media, is more real than reality today?
Yeah, that's tough, man. I mean, no, but I think we're headed that way, where it's like, because perception is reality. So people have found a way to use the internet. It's like the largest propaganda machine that's ever existed in all of humanity. It's like you can create whatever imagery for yourself that you want, but I still don't think it doesn't really change the fact of reality. Like, this is a bad answer to the question. I thought this was going to be a good clip, and then as soon as I started talking, I was like, no, this is going to be done. But no, it's like, I just fear that we're going to keep going down into that. It's like, no, yes, everything we see on the internet is our reality.
Yeah.
Because it's not. Like, if people could really just unplug, just put the phone away, go step out into the world. It's really not that, like, you're not in that much of a threat as you feel like, right?
Yeah.
But I just feel like more and more people are going to see the internet as like, no, this is what home is now. It's like, this is where we do everything. This is where we order our food. This is where I talk to my friends. This is where I do my job. This is where I call my mom. You know, like, it's like, I feel like slowly we're moving more and more towards that of like the Wally World stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So that's depressing.
Yeah. I mean, the perception thing I agree with, because sometimes it's like, you'll meet someone or talk to someone or whatever, and it's like you have a perception of them, or somehow social media gets involved, and you're like, oh wow, this person has 1 billion followers or something. That shouldn't really change the interaction you have with somebody in real life, though.
Yeah, and well, that's like a result of just fame, like, because it used to be that fame was like pretty unique, and like famous people you were famous because you were in movies or on a show. Now it's like everybody's famous. Like, everybody's famous. There's
Cheeseball Man. You know what I mean? Remember that guy?
No.
Okay, sorry.
See, well, that's a good thing though. It's like, to that, that's a celebrity to you. To me, I don't even know who that is. So it's like, that's what I mean though. It's like, there are Twitch streamers with like millions and millions of followers that I've never heard of. Like, so fame is almost like completely diluted, but still people let it get to them and they let it completely destroy their ego. But about like it's that same fallacy with people, with like couples, where it's like they say, you know, the couples that like boast the most on social media are the ones that are probably the least happy behind the scenes. And it's like, it's kind of like the same. It's like, whatever imagery for yourself you want to create, you can create, but that doesn't change the reality that you're living in, you know? And I feel like I just feel like that's kind of what everything is now, where it's like everybody's just kind of painting their life like it's like this incredible thing when everybody's just deeply unhappy inside. That's why on my page I talk about how deeply unhappy I am, to be authentic.
I thought you were saying it's because you're happy inside, but no.
No, I'm not happy inside.
Yeah, I've been feeling. You know what? This weather is making me happy. I'll say that. Yeah,
it's funny how every like February we're all like ready to jump off a bridge, and then the sun comes out, and we're like, oh, it's that.
What it is.
It's just because we haven't seen the sun or been outside in 3 months, you know.
Yeah.
Now, I exaggerate my own unhappiness, but it's like, I think my unhappiness is very similar to a lot of the crisis we're all feeling. It's like, it's been 5 years of what was supposed to be like 25 years of technological innovation. And like, we're all just adjusting to this new world, and it's like, we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah.
But I even feel that socially. It's like, I used to be so comfortable socially, and like, now, even talking to some of my closest friends, I'm like, I don't know, I'm just like darting around all the time, you know, like. So I don't know. It's not. I think it's just a bad time, but I don't necessarily think it's like, I don't know. I think we'll figure it out, or we won't.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I liked your point though. It's like, we'll figure out, if we can figure out how to use these things as a tool and not let them use us, and that'll help a lot.
Yes, exactly. And then once they become sentient, they're like, well, we're going to use you guys as tools. So, no, I mean, that's my view on it. Like, I could be totally, you could be watching this clip in 10 years and the AIs are, whatever, our daddies and but I really think, at least in the near term, it's like, we need to use it as a way to like augment what we do. Because like kids in school, why are they even in school? You should just be teaching them how to use AI. That's all that they should be learning how to do. Like,
well, the parents would go, I'd babysit a little bit, and the parents would go insane if the kids were home all day. It's too much. It's too much.
I mean, I can't imagine having a kid for 5 minutes, let alone your whole life.
That's a lot.
And that's why we haven't done that yet.
Yeah. I mean, I think, okay, so we can wrap it up in a sec. I do like to ask, like, where can people find you? I want you to plug right now. It's the time to plug.
Yeah, just my name on everything. Mike Mancusi on everything.
Yeah.
YouTube. I gotta start building up the YouTube. I've been saying I'm gonna do that for like a year now, and I'm just lazy about it. But TikTok, Instagram, Mike Mancusi. Please follow me. I desperately need the validation.
Do it. Follow Mike. And also, Mike, I always like to say, is there anything you want to leave our viewers with? Anything that's really coming to you, or I don't know, you really feel it, you want to leave people with? Yeah,
I always tell people, we're all going to be dead someday, and none of this really matters. Like, I feel like everybody gets locked in existential crisis. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We get the amount of time that we get. Just enjoy it. It could be over tomorrow. It could be over in 100 years. It's going to be over. So just don't take it so seriously. Have some fun.
I like that. Right. I actually feel really good now. I really like that.
It's either the most cathartic thought or the most anxiety-inducing one that anyone could ever have, depending on how you look at it. So I hope it helps.
Well, Mike, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Sad Money out.